Okay, so I want today to share with you a little more of the practical experiences that Shabi told us. So how can we proceed better our spiritual path, and also some personal experience that I will keep. So I will try to convey to you both. I have selected 14 experiences. If I have time, I will share more. First of all, I want to remind you something about the good fortune we have. We have been talking about this all these 2 days. How lucky we are to be here, this human body, to be part of, to be disciple in the spiritual path. We have Swami as our spiritual master. And we are here today because each one of us have recognized Swami as our guru, as our spiritual master, as the Purna Avatar. We have decided to commit more time, energy, and our skills to get the divine mission. That's why we are here. I have to probably mention 10 important reasons why we are in this conference, the benefits that we can receive. But it's important for you to know that the soul is one of you, not your mind. Your soul took a decision to be part of this divine mission. Now you have to deal with your mind to see how we are going to do it, what intensity. As I mentioned yesterday about the Ferrari, that God gave us a Ferrari Formula 1 car. We spoke about that, right? We can go at full speed or only at 20 miles per hour with putting our feet on the brake. It's up to us. But those that have a faith in Swami, the confidence and the courage will press the accelerator at full speed. That means will not be part-time devotees, as Swami says, but full-time devotees. What does it mean? It doesn't mean to serve in the organization 24 hours per day. It doesn't mean to go to 7 meetings 7 times per week. It doesn't mean to be meditating, I don't know how many hours per day. But it really means to remember him all day long. To remember his teachings and to decide. Everything is like a combination of consciousness and willpower. Everything is like that. Once we have a consciousness, the awareness of someone that we must do, we receive a message from Swami, we read something, and we say, yes, it's like that. We have to do this. And then we need the willpower to do it. And the secret is how can we develop willpower? Isn't it? Would you like to know? Okay, one person said yes, come here and tell me where we are. Okay. The willpower is very easy to make it grow. The willpower is like an analogy would be exactly battery. But the battery that we carry from life to life. You know, when we die, we carry with us our mind. And in our mind is a willpower that we have accumulated in our previous lives. So how can we make it grow? So he says it's very easy. Each time you desist from doing something that from a spiritual point of view is not good, then actually you are going to spend that action goes to willpower forever. For example, I want to smoke. I smoke. Swami says, don't smoke, but I want to smoke. This energy, and say it's energy. If you say, no, I will not smoke because Swami says it's not good, the energy you are going to spend that cigarette will be back forever of your willpower. So each time you consciously take a decision not to do something because it's not good, that energy that you're going to spend in that action will go to your willpower forever. And this is how we develop the willpower. Another question is, in this life, we always say we must do the right things, right? So we must ask ourselves, what is a good thing and what is a sin? Swami says, Whatever helps us to get closer to God or to the consciousness of God is a benefit. And whatever we do that prevents us, other people, to get closer to the consciousness of God is a sin. So we have to really balance, weigh everything we're going to do in these parameters. That is why it's so important for a spiritual aspirant to think before he speaks or before he does anything. That is essential. We cannot just react. We have to think first. This is what I want to say. It's okay? Is this truth or not? It's going to come regarding truth. So he says, speak the truth. But here it says, don't say something that would hurt another person. Even if it is true, don't say it. So truth is truth. But if it's going to hurt another person, keep quiet. It reminds me of the story of Swami tells about the yogi who was meditating and he saw a deer going its way. And a moment later, the hunters came and asked him, where did he go? And the yogi would lie. So he said, the eyes that see cannot speak, the mouth that speaks cannot see. Remain quiet. So we have to have this discrimination in our lives. So yesterday I told you about was out of all the spiritual practical recommendations and select some to scare you. Some is getting you because I don't like. That's let me find one second. Not that we start telling you many things about the ones I have selected. What also like it. You remember yesterday the recommendations I told you, right? Actually, you were supposed to do it from yesterday for the rest of your life, right? Yes. So you will never get angry again. You will never criticize another human being. You will remember God all day long. When Swami, the person comes to invited us to his house and gave us a lot of explanations, a lot of explanations about our work, our purpose. Then when we left, there were 5 members. One of them was Professor Pinkatarama, the Vice Chancellor. And we met in a room and tried to put into writing all what Swami told us. We were transcribing all of his instructions. Then someone else wrote, we will try. It was a summary to Swami, that we understood that we are going to do this. And we wrote, Swami, we will try. And the Brahman said, no, don't use that word. That word is a sin. With Swami, you never try, you do. So, for you, for each one of you, because it's for me also, never say I will try. Once you know that you have something to do, you are stronger. You are human beings. You are disciples, Sssios of the good Bhagavatam. So you have, Swami will never ask you to do something that you are not capable of doing. You will never will tell you to cross, swim in the ocean. He knows that you cannot do it. But when some message comes to our awareness, it's because Swami knew that we were able to do it and we have. So whenever, as I said yesterday, whenever you do read something or hear something that strikes your heart, do it without any delay. As I said yesterday, procrastination is a sin. We cannot waste a second. If not, Swami will say, okay, you don't want to do it, let's leave it for another life. If we know something, let's do it immediately. Another spiritual practice that I want to share with all of you. You know, we live in many places. Start the day with love, spend the day with love, feel the day with love, end the day with love, right? So we'll tell you how to make this a day inside. Okay? But once I tell you, you have to do it. Right? You know, you are not answering to me. Swami is wanting to know if you will do it or not. So you're not talking to him. Okay? We are now learning how to live a day inside. You start the day when you wake up. So when you wake up from tomorrow morning, actually you will start tonight. Don't start in the morning. When you wake up tomorrow morning, you will turn yourself to the right or to the left and give a kiss in the chin to Swami who was sleeping by your side. Without imagination, there is no spiritual path. So you will have to feel that Swami was sleeping by your side. And the first thing you will do is, good morning, Swami, let me give you a kiss on your cheek. Okay? You say, good morning, Swami. You woke up again. Then you go, you wash your teeth, Swami's by your side. He's checking if you wash your teeth. Go to have breakfast. Before breakfast, you will have a banana. Okay? But after the banana, we'll tell you something. Swami is sitting by your side. So you pronounce the banana because he advises us to do that to purify the food. And he says that the food, you know why you have to thank the food? Why is the result? Because all the food we eat comes from nature. And the nature comes from Devas, who are the architects of the nature dimension, right? They are the architects of this world. We eat out of their work. When we say our prayers, it's the food for them. So that's why Swami says that whoever eats without saying, expressing gratitude is a thief, because he's taking something and not giving anything in return. That's why we have to pray. Say, thank you. Thank you, Lord, for this food. But we are with Swami. Swami is sitting by our side. So after the prayer, we say, Swami is doing something first. This is for you. Until you don't think that Swami, out of his mercy, has taken a piece and ate, you don't need to say, Swami, I will start. I will start and I will die. So please, and Swami, out of his love, will touch the food. Then you eat that food, you get prasad. So you went with Swami, you have breakfast with him, you go to work. Swami will be sitting by your side in the car or in the bus. You reach your work and you tell him, Swami, please, let me pay attention to my work because you say that we must do everything with excellence. It's a simple work. So you work, then you come back with Swami. You come back with him, you go to have dinner with him, you offer him the food, you wash your teeth, and you will tell him, Swami, what shall we do? He will tell you, do some prayers, repeat my name, read something. This is what I like. Don't watch any horror movies because I don't like that. It's by your side. So if you put the violence in something ugly, you are really disturbing him. And then after prayers, reading, you say, Tonight, Swami, let me have sweet things with you. Give him another kiss in the cheek and go to sleep. This is a real day with Swami. This is a day when you feel his constant presence by your side. Okay, so tonight, please be with him. He will sit by your side. Give him a nice kiss in his cheek. Then, another important thing that we must have. Shall I tell you an experience, not to bore you too much? We'll mix them, right? Okay. Let me find the experience I have chosen. Here we go. I have shared some things from my previous trip here, so those who have good memory, I ask for their forgiveness. Because I don't remember which ones I have shared. Some for sure, but as I don't know if all of you have been here, some of them tell them again. Right? Especially when they are brothers who are not well. One time I was, remember that public meeting that I went to Colombia and I arrived, the plane was a day. And the person who spoke before me, you know, he was gave his speech, he was seated, they announced me, and he went to his place, to the seat. And when he sat, the photograph was showing him on his head at that moment. And he told me later that when he sat, he thought, oh, Leonardo will tell his stories again. Yeah, many this will be. It's nothing. Made a photograph of his head. So if you don't want the photograph of your head, don't complain about the chances. When I came back from my first trip to India, let's go to the first trip. The first trip I was filled with that person. You know, every day was, as I told you yesterday, with jeans, long hair. Every day, Swami gave me all the beauty, to sign a picture, read my mascara. Every day, took my letter. Every day I gave him a letter. Every day he took it, but then he told me, you, baby, but he remained taking my letters. So it was so incredible. That was the way it was not normal. But one person told me, what is happening to you? So I was at that time vice president of a spiritual organization, of a Rajayoga organization. We remember I went to see that spiritual master, and 2 days after I said, no, I have to see Swami. Since that moment, 1 million after the other. And when I reached Swami, you know, the department also Swami, and then every day namaskar, beauty or photographs, amazing. I was so full of love. I couldn't believe it. So one day I said, he is the Buddha. So I wrote in a piece of paper, I wrote my resignation as vice president of the other organization, and I wrote, I have found the Buddha, I have to surrender completely to him, and I can't be at that position at the same time. I wrote that in the night in my room. Morning darshan came, so instead of his usual plan, or starting by the ladies came to the men's side, he came from the ground and came to me. He stood in front of me and said, yes. I said, yes. The night before, he came and said, yes. This afternoon I will see you. Well, he gave darshan, and the report was over. I thought, he told me he was going to do an interview and go and sit in front of the interview room. One Seva told me, he said, no, it's not like that. He has to call you again. I thought that this Seva didn't like my face. He was spoiling the opportunity of my first interview with God. So I went to my room and I was really, I don't know this word, really dejected. You know, I thought, Swami will not remember, even if he remembers, he will not find me. These kind of thoughts. In the end, I got to third or fourth line at that time was, you know, being the luck. And I was really thinking, I lost my body. Swami came out from the veranda without looking. He just raised his head straight into my eyes, and from the veranda he said, you. You know, at that time there was no music, no silence, and he said, you. So I stood up and I went to him scared. I went to him and he said the most beautiful word, go. Interview. So I asked him if the other group to join. He said yes. Gave darshan and came to interview. And in the interview, he spoke to all of us. He spoke. So suddenly he looked at me and he approached my face. And he told me all what I have thought since the morning. He was going to find me. He was going to remember all the thoughts I had. He repeated one after the other. He came closer to my ear. And he whispered in my ear. He said this, I will never disappoint my promise. This is the divine promise he made to each one of us. He will never disappoint us. It is up to us not to disappoint him. it's, I always, in my English, I use this word also as an appointment with God. And this appointment is not to be there for the appointment with God. We must be there. We must be in the right time, in the right moment, in the right attitude. So before the next experience, the spiritual path is essential how we handle our mind. So to handle our mind, we need what Swami says as the very important method. When Swami says that you want to clean a garden, the way to get rid of the weeds is not to pay attention to them, not to water, not directly the flowers. The weeds will die by itself. The mind is the same thing. We have to have the art of not paying attention to the bad thoughts. Whenever the bad thought comes, don't entertain them. Don't give energy to them. Just delete them from the screen of your mind. Okay? You must become very skillful in this art. This is my mind. I am not my mind. And don't pay attention to the thoughts that come through the screen of my mind. The mind is not a physical entity. I would say it's like a space. Some people might see it, colors. That space of thoughts are there, which are the essence of the mind. So the bad thoughts, let's not pay attention to it. So that means don't follow the patterns of the mind. The mind will run after sensory pleasures. We must don't follow it. We must fill our mind with a more uplifting content. It's my English, okay? It's my official translator. So please, from now on, offer your mind to Swami. And tell him, this is not my mind. I don't accept it anymore. It's yours. If good thoughts come, you send them and we will cherish them. If bad thoughts come and we don't pay attention, it's not my mind. Don't own your mind. Okay? Is it clear? It's very important because we are slaves of our mind. We must become the masters of our mind. And to become the masters of our mind, the important thing is to pay attention to it. I will tell you an experience and at the same time a spiritual practice. Okay? Both in one. One day, and this is another proposal I give to you, it's not mandatory like not to criticize or not to be angry. This is mandatory. The next one is a proposal. One day, brother came to me and told me, Leonardo, you know what I did? Where you are. He told me, tell me a divine contract. Let's sign a contract with Swami, a formal contract. When you have a business, you have to sign a contract, you want to put a date, hereby I, my name, pledge or commit to this formal. So he said, I offer my life to him, but in formal contract. Dated, signed, and I gave it to Swami. He said, what a wonderful idea. So as I follow what I preach, when I hear something good, I immediately put it into practice. I went to my room and I wrote my contract to him. I wrote that I gave my life to him, everything to him, and I belong to him. But this, I will not tell you what they are not. Anyway, I offer my life to him. So the next day, I went to the contract production because the contract is executed with both parties signed. Right? So the divine contract is executed when Swami accepted. So I went to my contract and I waited for Swami to take it. What happened? The next day was Swami's birthday. To make it more difficult, the president or prime minister of India went to the ashram. So we were not allowed to be seated in the veranda. Not only that, there was a lot of security. Not only that, Swami didn't give darshan away to the people. He went straight to his room, invited the prime minister into the interview, and then for the birthday program. When all this came in, I was with my contract in the hand. But 3 lines of security guards were made that this to avoid the people going to the veranda because the Prime Minister was there. But I got my contract. So I said, I have to make a shopping. So I stood up and I went to the veranda. When I reached the first time, the people saw me and let me go. When I reached the second time, the people saw me and let me go. They didn't know who I was. No, the policemen or people at school. They had no idea. They let me go the 3 times. And I ended in front of the interview room was the golf cart, so I used interview of the golf cart, all the militaries and myself in the golf cart. So he came out of the room, looked at me, stretched his hand, asked me what my contract. I looked at him, and I left the golf cart and my contract is gone. So I invite all of you tonight to write in a piece of paper your contract, offer your life to him, put it in your altar near a photo of Swami. I can assure you that you will accept. Okay? Another experience, jump. You know, with our eyes, I told you about this vice president of this spiritualist organization of Brazil, went to India and saw all these things that our eyes don't see. One day, the dear brother, Cindy Sham, both central coordinators of Latin America at the time, he was very close to Swami. He was close in the sense physical close, he had the opportunity to. He spent 6 months per year in Prashanti. And one day, he took a photo of Swami, and that time you had to send the photograph to the level of Bangalore. So a couple of days later, he sent the photograph. He took a photograph of the piano, 1 to 2 meters from Swami. Swami was standing with the hands behind. But when he received the photograph, Swami was trailing, and around him was spirals of energy. You know when Swami does this? He was floating in the air, white lights of energy, white, floating in the air in front of him. So when he did like that, he remained floating in the air in front of him. Yes, spirals of spirals. Spirals of energy expanding from him. So he looked at that and went to Swami and said, Swami, what is this? And Swami told him, out of my love, I let you have a photograph of what is emanating from me all the time. And luckily, I have a copy of that photograph. Hope we have the opportunity another time to come and show it to you. It's unbelievable. Our eyes didn't see, we saw only a human form. But that of him was energy rays, spirals and rays of energy that were emerging from his body in all directions. This is what we don't see. We only saw the human form. We didn't see the energy that was emanating from him all the time. But, excuse me once. I will tell you another practical recommendation. This already runs into mandatories and recommendations. Okay? This goes into recommendations. This is spiritual practice. When you wake up in the morning or in the evening before going to sleep, stand in front of a mirror and look at yourself and ask yourself, who am I? Don't say any answer. Don't say I'm bored, I'm happy, no answer. So only ask, who am I? Looking at your face. Say, who am I? And you can think, this body, who am I? Who is it? Who is the being that is looking to this eyes, that is existing within me, asking this question? Spend a couple of minutes with this inquiry. Who am I? While you look at yourself and you deny that you are this physical body, but you try to find out who is the conscious entity that is asking this question. And then after a couple of minutes, you think about this. It is there, the conscious entity that is thinking, asking this. Think about this consciousness that is within you, alive and aware. Okay? First, you think, who am I? After a couple of minutes, trying to go deeper and deeper with no answers, then be aware of the consciousness that is aware a couple of minutes. And then, what do I want? What really I want? And we will come, if you are sincere, that what will happen. You want happiness. No one normal person will want to suffer. This, you ask, what do I really want? And will come this desire for happiness. And these are the expressions of Sat, Chi, and Ananda. If you do it properly, you will tune with these three dimensions of our being. Sat, Chi, and Ananda. We have to tune this way to tune with our real self. Okay? So I invite you to do this exercise because spirituality is not, as I said yesterday, some of that dogmas, rituals, esoteric practices, mythical mantras, seeking guidance. So these are purificatory acts. At this moment of introspection, that you feel safe or carry, who am I? Who am I? This is a very, very good way to not only ask yourself who am I, but at the same time to deal with these three dimensions of Sat, Chi, and Ananda and our real self. One time, we are to see this, so I will give you another experience. I had a ticket to go to India. I bought the ticket, 3 days later was my departure. And on that day, I had an accident. I fractured my, I think, the nose. Nose I broke it. I went to a clinic, they made x-rays, I had a fracture, they told me. But they told me that I did not need surgery because it was aligned. Okay? They only gave me 2 photos in the night, so the next day, move on. The bone will not go. They gave me painkillers. Told me you have to wait 30, 40 days, it will heal by itself. The pain was unbearable. No, I couldn't do this. If someone looked there, no, I didn't have sometimes hematomas, I would say. Hematomas. Sometimes it gets stuck. Didn't happen to me. But I couldn't touch my nose here. Couldn't move. The pain was, and I said, what I will do, I have to do it. I said, well, I prefer to suffer there than here. I took the pain. My karma was very intense because, as you know, I cannot live with air conditioning. On the plane to India from Argentina, it's a very long flight. We have 14 hours to London or Frankfurt, and sometimes 10 hours there, 7 hours. We fly from Frankfurt or London to India. So I enjoyed the air conditioning of the plane and got the cold. Imagine to do your nose with a broken nose. I had to, but I couldn't be accomplished. And I was thinking, oh, I was in my past life, what did I do? And I did what you think. You see the comics that sometimes when they refer to the pain, it starts over your head, I really saw them. It was terrible. When like that, suffering like crazy, I reached the ashram. I went to Darshan. Where's Darshan? Swami came to me and said, when did you come? Just now, Swami Pro, tell you. And then 21 what happened to me. I went to the interview room and we sat as close as Swami as possible. So I sat near his chair. So we started to speak. Suddenly he looked at me with the corner of the eye and smiled. I know these things. I don't know if anyone else knows that. But I need to like it like that and he smiled and said, then he continued speaking. And suddenly he was talking to another person and he did like that. So fast, I didn't have time to go back. I had time to scream and let him know. He got hold of my nose so tight, not having little strength. Hands. So tight. I always say if I do it like, if I press the key, it will hurt you. I did it like this. For 15 or 20 seconds, he was shaking my head from one place to the other. Before I could touch that place, and suddenly he was shaking my head. thought you will take my nose out of my face. I really thought that. And then he released me, and he continued speaking with other people as nothing happened. When I stopped shaking, I was like this, and I realized that my cold was gone, my nose was completely healed. So it is the divine healing. Another time, this is not one of the stories I wanted to share, but another time to allow me. I was in my office, and a statement went into my. I tried to unstaple some papers. Is it English? And the statement went into my finger. After a couple of hours, my finger became black, and I got an inflammation. That day, I had to go to the science center for the newcomers. We projected the film and give a talk every week. That is part of the activities. I was supposed that day to train them, speak, and answer the questions. Before going to the center, I went to a clinic and the doctor told me that there was an infection and antibiotics. So I got the antibiotics, but I didn't take it. I thought I will need to eat something. I don't know if this is true, that you need to have a stomach something with antibiotics. Okay, anyway, I didn't take this. When I go back to my house, I will take the first antibiotic. So I went to the center, and we were projecting the order of elimination, which was 1 hour. And before we started, I took Vibuti, and then I put Vibuti in my finger. 1 hour later, I went to the film edit, I went to the front to speak, and give a little speech and answer the questions. When I was speaking, I looked at my finger, it was fine. The inflammation disappeared, the finger was pink, and all the infection was gone in 1 hour with the divine Vibuti. Let me tell you another. Another very, very difficult mandatory practical experience. From today onwards, we will speak less. Only the minimum necessary. We will speak softly and loudly. You know, Swami always says, before you speak, you have to think if it is truth, if it is necessary, if it is not harmful, and if it is better than silence. Right? He always says, speak less, don't waste the message. So we need to stop speaking too much. Only when you give salsa, you can speak a lot. If not, speak less. Speak softly. Don't shout, speak lovingly. Okay? Take it as a spiritual lesson. Don't shout anymore. Unless someone is stage and is going to have an accident, don't shout, don't scream. Okay? Take it as a spiritual discipline. It's very important for each one of us. Swami says also that, you know, he speaks about the spiritual alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F. A, always be careful. Always be cheerful. Always be calm. You know, Swami says that we have to be careful because our minds are fed with what we see, with what we hear, with what we eat. So we must really be very careful with all the things we see, the things we hear, the things we eat. If we are really serious in our efforts to advance, we have to really follow this. We should not eat any non-vegetarian food. We should eat something food. We should be careful with the things. We should not listen to gossips. We should not listen to violent things. We should not read that because we will that way purify our mind. If we control our senses, we purify our minds. If we purify our minds, our thoughts will be pure. Thoughts are pure, our actions will be pure. If our actions are pure, our character will be good. If our character is good, our destiny. So all start with this, always be careful. And always be calm, because as I said yesterday, you believe in Swami, you have faith and confidence in him, why are you not going to be calm? Calm is a sad state of mind. Agitated is a rajasic state. So you're calm. You're happy. because your happiness is your service to humanity. Instead of, Swami says, the castor oil that will spread dark energies, because a Swami radiates energy, we also radiate energy. If we smile, we radiate very pure white energy. The people who see us will be happy, they will not know why. So this is a form of service to ourselves and to the other people. D-E-F-E-E-F-G, so don't ever forget God. I always not only don't ever forget God, always remember God. Because this is a proactive attitude. It's like spending the day with God to know that He is by my side all the time. So this is another important thing. Let me tell you another sorrowful recommendation. As I said yesterday, we are all going to die. Remember? So some people write in a piece of paper this sentence, I'm going to die. They put some plastic on it so it will not get spoiled. And every morning when they wake up, they will going to die. And they reflect on that. Because we never think about we're going to die, right? We never think about it. As Swami says, it's very important because when we think that we're going to die, we will treasure the time we have better. And those people that do that make another paper, another sentence, they put plastic. The second sentence is after reading the first one, I'm going to die and reflect about this. They reach a moment that they're really depressed. They really go down, they realize they're going to die. But then they take a second paper. It says, not yet. Okay, and this is important. What I'm going to do is not yet time. This is the story of Parikshit. When Swami tells us these stories, he doesn't tell us to entertain us. He's telling us we don't have 7 days, but we don't know how many days we have. So what I'm going to do is not yet time. I'm going to take advantage of each second of his life. We are not going to leave our responsibilities, our commitments with our family, with society. That doesn't mean that, oh, I'm going to die and leave everything and go to the forest and meditate. No. You will not gain anything with that. We will gain to live the conditions that Swami sent us with the karma that we got. Because the karma we have is the best karma we have had. It's a karma that God decided that was the best for us. According to our previous lives, He said, okay, you have to go through this. You have to go in Argentina. It's going to have a very bad economy. You will have dictatorships and this and that. But because of it is such a bad situation, we will think more about spirituality. We will not be lost in the comfortable life of the United States. So each one of us has a karma and has a time to be born. If I have time, I will tell you what Swami says about how we die and how we are reborn. This I leave it for another time. Well, remind me. But we want to know now. It's only one of time. Why procrastinate? Swami says that let me talk for a moment. Thank you very much. Swami says that time is exactly the same as going to sleep in the night. There is only one difference. Only one difference. When we go to sleep, we go, our body lies and we are in the astral plane. Perhaps some of you have felt that you are flying. You feel that it's because the astral plane we fly, we don't walk. Any of you have felt you are falling very rapidly, like in a roller coaster. This is because one of your chakras is more activated in the past lives, and something in the night will woke you up suddenly. You were in an astral plane, but you came suddenly back to the physical body. And so fast, the feeling we have is like falling back in the roller coaster. So in the night, we go to the astral plane, and then we spend some time. And the differences are when we die, we don't wake up in the morning. So we don't wake up in the physical body, but we go to the physical, to the astral plane, and we go to the astral plane that corresponds to our level, our spiritual level. Some people go to an astral plane that they could call hell or purgatory because of their bad actions. Some people go that worldview to heaven. That place enjoy all the merits and benefits that we gain in this life. But one day you die there also. And when you die there, you are born, you are awake in the mental plane. And you entertain the mental plane with your mental body. The astral plane you have an astral body. In the mental plane you have a mental plane body. And one day we die there also. Go to the causal, we remain there till the time we go. The time comes when God decided that karma, God or his utterance, or gods of karma said when is the right time, the right place, the right family, all that with whom I am going to be married, how long we are going to live, which children are going to have. So this is already written. So when you come back, you make first your mental level, mental body. Then you make an astral body. And then you go into the food that the father is going to eat. And you enter the body of the father in the food. You go to the seminal liquid, then you go to the mother, and you come and go from the mother. Some people say 4 months, 6 months, coming and going till you remain there permanently. This is how we die, this is how we are born. So, dying, it doesn't matter how we die. Some people say, oh, I died in a crash accident, and I sleep in the night. It's like falling asleep. The moment of death is falling asleep. There's no pain, no nothing. Only like you fall asleep tonight. And then you go to that plane. So don't be afraid because we are dying every night. The only difference is that in the morning we wake up in this body. The ones that die, they will wake up in some time, some years, 8 years, 20 years, 100 years, in another body. This is how we die, how we are reborn. So the important thing about this is to forget about the fear. Only the people that have to have fear are those that are not good because they will wake up in this very low plane where time in the heaven say that some people have to remain in the lowest plane, let's say in 30 times 1 year. But for them, the measure of time would be like 100 years. So they might have to be there 1 hour, but for them it would be like 10 years. With tense suffering. Multiply the suffering here by 1 million. This is what it is. It's a state of mind. It's a plane where they remain while they pay their karma there. Okay? But you don't have to worry at all. Heaven is waiting for all of you. And not for the others. So, another experience. When I was, you know, many of the experiences I had, I was always thinking, Swami gave me his experiences, of course. At one time, I was at a work conference and he gave me an assurance because he was the valedictory day of the work conference. And he was going to give the valedictory speech. And suddenly he called Dr. Goldstein and he said something to him and we were all sitting on not some, I don't think there was no sun. But Goldstein started to look in and he called me. The Swami is calling you. So I went there and he said, you speak. I will not speak today, I will speak tomorrow. Sometimes when you have to speak in front of him, they give you 1 or 2 days notice or some. So I was taken really by surprise. And I said, yes, Swami. And I said, what should I speak? He said, speak about your experiences. And I started to speak, and I couldn't stop. I was telling Swami, one more Swami, one more Swami. So Swami gave the assurance that he gave me the experiences to share. Because when you share the experiences, the faith of everybody is increased. One of the experiences I shared in front of Swami, and give a comment after that, is that I was in my third trip to India. When I came back from India, I was so full of love with Swami. I wanted to speak about him everywhere. 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 I went to every corner of Buenos Aires, then to Argentina, then to the neighboring countries, then all over Latin America, then to the rest of the world where I could go. At that time, when I started to speak about him, I couldn't contain myself, I started crying. I remember I started speaking about him and crying and crying, and I said, "Father, I'm speaking, I crying." It was incredible. So there was that state of mind full of love for Swami, to Swami, for Swami, to Swami, for Swami. So, but there was on my third trip to India, going everywhere in Argentina, speaking about the avatar, come to Earth. And I was walking to my room, and suddenly I thought, is it God? Is it Paradama? He's good. Of course, he does service for 4 hours a day. He almost doesn't eat. He doesn't sleep. But is he God? I went to the room, and I thought, if I have a doubt, I cannot speak about him. I cannot tell the people, is that I am not 100% sure. I would be a hypocrite. Hypocrite. I felt very bad because I wanted to speak about Swami. So I felt so bad in the room. And I thought, well, Swami, I spoke with him and I said, you have to give me a proof that you are God. And I thought, what proof can I ask you? And came like a flash to my mind. I said, I know, give me a word. Give me a word and you give that you are God. And I went to sleep. And I had a dream with Swami. I had a watch that I bought into now. You know, to in New York. It's a very good watch company. I had bought a very sleek watch, I liked it so much, but it was hand winding. Sometimes it was slow, sometimes it was fast. I was always crazy with it. I went to the city watch watches and I said, these are on time, but I didn't change it because I like it mine. But it was driving me crazy. So I thought, if Swami gives me a watch, I'll use this. In the night, I had a dream. I left my watch in the room. It was a small room. I put the matches on the floor. And I left my watch near the matches. I still remember how I was very obsessive. I remember how I put it near the matches, took a shower, went to sleep. And I had a dream. So I came to my dream and told me, you have a watch, you want to change it. You don't change it. I don't know what was happening to me with the watch he told me. He liked it, I changed it for it. He told me the whole story. And he said, I will solve the problem. Your watch disappeared. I was so busy that I woke up and the first thing I did was stretch my hand to touch my watch. I was not there. The door was locked. It was not there. I had left it there. I stood up, turned on the light, the watch was not there. My heart started to pump like Swami's punishing me for charity. But I put a challenge to give me a watch. He says, you have done, so we'll take your watch. Swami has an incredible humor. In the morning, I went for lunch. What did he do? Lunch, he called me for an interview. What did he do in the interview room? A watch. And he gave it to me. But when the hand was in front of my face, the hand continued, gave it to a student who was behind me. And imagine, the first thing from Swami, what I had asked him as a group the night before, he made it not he could have given it to any other person, but he stretched the hand to me, then continue its way. Well, I had a strong heart, I didn't die there. 20 or 30 days later, my last day in the ashram was in Darshan. Swami came in the morning, looked at me. Usually he says, when are you leaving? But this time he looked at me and said, what time are you leaving? I said, after Darshan, son. My first go, interview. Well, interview. I went to the interview room, and Swami spoke to all of us. And suddenly he looked at me and said, he raised my sleeve and said, what time do you have? And I said, no, no. And he stopped me, and he put the same face that in the day. The same face, the same voice. He said, I know, your watch disappeared. But you know, the tone of voice, the words were exactly like in the dream. Because it was a proof that he took it. And then he continued to speak with other people. And then he again told me, he asked me to go to the smaller room. And then he looked at me again and he said, how is your bad monkey mind? And when he said that, I realized, yes, it was not the inside psychology. It's a flash, it's a split of a second. I realized, yes, I have a monkey mind, bad monkey mind. You know, a monkey is never quiet. Imagine a bad monkey. So I said, in fact, I have the hands of faith and this no doubt. My mind is, so I replied to him, realize this, I said to him, very bad, sorry. And so he said, it's not so bad. Put his hand in front of my face and made a watch. And put it here, I said, the proof you wanted, put it here. Then he put his finger here, he said, I will give a special power to your watch. Whenever you have a bad thought, it will stop. And then he asked me to cover it because he was refuge in light. He said, cover it because the people will feel it. So we went outside, I was with the watch like that. I was talking to everybody. And then I said, I want to see my watch. So I take like this and I look at it, it was stopped. And the middle of the interview, I screamed, Swami, stop! And so he looked at me and said, yes, I know. She thought, this is another told me exactly what I have thought. They will not reveal to me. And the thought I had is, and the watch was alive. Because whenever something happened to me, the date of the watch will jump to the number 23, which for me is one of the signs of Swami's presence. I can tell you a lot of experience with the number 23. Actually, I will tell you one. The watch was alive. What happened to the watch? I have to tell you the whole story. In another trip, many years later, in another interview, Swami looked at me and he said, I will remove you, I will remove you, I will remove you. So strong, so stern that they are to ask why, get quiet. When the interview was over, I left and went back to Argentina. When I came to Argentina, within 5 days, I had 3 major accidents, two of which I could have died. Each one was an incredible miracle of Swami, an incredible protection. But this Swami let me know that I was going to go to 3 big and strong karmas. But I will not tell you now because I have no time. But each one of them are incredible. But the second one, very dangerous gang of thieves robbed the house where I was. I was in a beach house in Argentina with my family. That day, my younger son was 6 months old. The only day I said I would take him to the beach with us because I wanted to stay there with the baby. That day, a very crazy kind of thieves came to the house, destroyed everything, broke everything. My watch, there, left a thread on the wall with a banana. If they painted the thread on the wall, crazy. And I think those same guy can kill another person in that place. Anyway, Swami's protection, but I lost my watch. My next trip to India, I spoke to Swami and said, Swami, my watch. He said, I know, your watch. I said, can you give it back? He said, first, do your duty, then I was true. And well, when I will do my duty in the eyes of God, who knows? So I did the watch in another trip to United States. I bought the Rolex. I wanted the Rolex at that time. I could afford it. I bought it. And at that time, it was so expensive. So I bought the Rolex. And a couple of years later, again, after the trip to India, we was in Buenos Aires, and I went to meet a client in not downtown Buenos Aires, but in a very good neighborhood. I went to his office at 5 p.m., daytime, summertime. I came out and went to the parking, the garage where I come. And when I was walking to the parking, someone got hold of my hand from behind and things like that and stole my watch. And ran away. And I started running after him. But another one was waiting in a motorcycle, he jumped and left. And I couldn't catch a motorcycle. So I stood in the middle of the street thinking, I thought, what can I have with watches? Where is the watchshop game and other ones? What do I have? Take my car, there were people in the streets, no one did anything. I took my car, it was no sense to go to the police station. I have no insurance, nothing. So I went to my house. Next day, this was Wednesday, next day, Thursday morning, before going to my office, I had in my house one room with the upper floor. I have the ground floor, first floor, and then in the upper floor I have one room which is my altar, my prayer room. I was meditating. I was ending my meditation. The thought the robbery came to my mind. I thought, Swami, you are important. You can give me back the Rolex if you want. But then I realized, I said, how sick I am. Forgive me, Swami, for asking you these material things. Forgive me, forgive me. I said, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. When I said Shanti, I heard the lady that was working in my house saying, Sir, your watch, your watch. The lady, before when I arrived at my house, I told her that my watch was gone. Next morning, the synchronicity was incredible. When I said Shanti, the lady said, your watch, your watch, your watch. The Rolex that was stolen the day before, in that neighborhood, 25 minutes away from my house, it was materialized in my house. How? She was living in the house with her boyfriend. And he was going to work, but instead of going to the door, he decided to get something and he kicked a water pot. When he kicked it, he had something inside and what was inside. That's right. He put it inside something to water and it fell. It was my watch, the same serial number that I checked. I only spent $1 to replace the pin. When they took it, they broke the pin. And then I was able to put it back and felt the same vibration I had to watch song again. This is my answer. That's the Lord who does everything everywhere. I will start with the spiritual, the practical experience and share with you some. How much time do we have? Then, number 20. Number 23, my life appears so many times in a very incredible way. Because sometimes I was asking something and I look at the watch and it's 50 seconds. No, not 50 minutes, 50 seconds, I speak 40 seconds. In so many ways, so many experiences, but I will tell you one. I was in New York, someone told you I represent American film companies. And twice a year, they have this meeting with all their agents. They're not individual, they're group meetings. What they show us, their new launches, new character. That time it was Toy Fair in February in New York, and they were together with the friend were showing us how their property, their characters were put in different toys. So we have to go there and listen to their new glass and everything. One day, I had a meeting with Warner Brothers and Hasbro. Warner Brothers was one of the most important companies they represented, and Hasbro is the one of the second company at that time in the world. They had a joint meeting with all their agents that was going to last from 8 a.m. No, okay, 12. So I went there, but at the same time, 10 a.m. I had a meeting. The meeting was in Fifth Avenue and 23rd Street, downtown. At 10 a.m., I have to be up north, up down in Madison and 57. Okay? The other part of the city. I have to be both places, but I didn't develop my bivocation skill. Not yet. So I haven't yet. I have to be both places at the same time. So one I have to be from 8 to 12, another at 10, 10 to 11, 12. So I had to be there. So what did I do? I was in the first meeting with Warner, and 20 minutes before 10, I stood up as if I had to go to the bathroom. And I was, because it was a general meeting, I went with my briefcase. I realized that I didn't need my briefcase because I had to come back to this meeting. So I went to the first room, first office I found, and left my briefcase there. No one will touch anything there. And I left for the other meeting. New York, February, no car, no taxi available. Snowing, I took the subway. When I reached the other place, the game already started. And they were showing a new character. There is a pattern that when they show something new, the film says 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay? This is a universal thing. That time was 23, 22. When I saw the number 23, I said, wow, from 23 to 0, everybody could be sleeping or hypnotized. You know? So I saw the number 23 in such a strange situation and thought, Swami, it's you. But then I said, I will pay attention to what they are doing. And every couple of minutes, I raised my hand to make a question, ask a question. I wanted them to know that I was present. So I have a question, I have a question. 40 minutes later, I said, I have questions, they know I'm here. Again, I go to the bathroom. And I left. I went back to the first place. But then, going back to the first place, I got again the subway. But something very special happened. There was a seat available in the subway. New York, at that time, to get a seat, the subway is a miracle in itself. I went directly and I sat there. As soon as I sat, I had an incredible experience. Reality disappeared from my eyes. Instead, I started to see a movie of my life. Now when they tell you that we are going to die and you see your life, different scenes, I was seeing scenes of my life. But I was seeing things that I didn't do properly from the spiritual point of view, one after the other. It is as if someone did this, no one did that. The same way I lost connection with the right, the same way I saw reality again. And the subway was stopping exactly at the station where I had to get off. So I saw again reality and I heard the name of the station and realized that I had to get off there. So I stood up, get out of the train, and I remained at the platform in a state of shock. Saying, Swami, what was this? Then it is experience. Then I started thinking about the images he showed me. And some were very difficult for me to change. So I started to speak to Swami and said, Swami, you wanted me to change that? And I said, okay, that is something that we should never do. And I bargained with him. I told him, okay, I remember the number 23 so much all the way in the film. I said, okay, show me the number 23 again. Especially a way we believe that it was you. And the second thing I did, I told him that we try to change. Two mistakes, right? Anyway, that was my deal with him. I went back to the office, the meeting where the meeting was happening. And before entering the hall where everybody was, I went to pick up my briefcase. And when I rose my briefcase, someone had put a paper on the side. That was touched today. This is Swami showing, giving me the proof in New York, and I asked him. I think some people here are sleeping, some are falling asleep. Before I lost all of you, tell us what happened. Where? No, they didn't notice. They didn't notice. There were so many people there that no idea. There were like 50 people, they didn't care. I went to the bathroom. I went back last week, I had just left. No problem at all. So I covered this also. So I see something. Some people are falling. So shall I continue? Because it's still too early. You know, some of the services we do in Argentina is to help the children that sleep on the streets. There are many children sleeping on the streets. So the science center first started to work with them. And they brought them to the center once a week to let them take a shower, clean their clothes, give them new clothes, and give some in talk class to them. These children live on the streets and they make their living by stealing to give the money to the elder ones to buy drugs. And what they did, they came back another days to the center to steal the things they saw there. They saw a video cassette, they will come back and steal it. And we knew that they were stealing, but anyway, we didn't stop bringing them to the center. But we realized that we was trying to fill a bucket with water with a lot of holes, because they stay all the week there, living on the streets with elderly youngers who will push them to steal, to consume drugs. So we thought that the only solution was to get a house for them. So we made so many miracles in Argentina. When we started, we rented the house. One day, because in Argentina, most of the houses belong to the same organization or rented. We don't have meetings in the house of the devotee. Many centers are owned by the same organization. So that's why we have meetings every week. So, but then one day they said, the owner of the house that we not ready to do anymore. Every month we hardly always reach the amount to pay the rent one way or the other, but suddenly we lost the house. One brother said, let's buy a house. I said, how? We cannot even pay the rent. To buy it. I said, no, let's buy it. So we provide. So I provide it. Because when buying the house, which, listen, I would say that the science center is either an asylum or services a shop to repair cars, right? The house we bought was a repair house for cars. The center where we do our budgets, we had to cover it because it was the pits where the people work on the cars. So many things happened. The house we rent, we had to throw the walls. And we go through the walls. We put some idols there to support them. Things. And then after the meetings, everybody go to the city to see pageants. They are very popular. Singers came. Everybody went there to sing and were jumping, and the house was trembling. Years later, we realized that we put the kids in the wrong position. So we were not supporting anything. So it was only supporting the city not to fall. It was really incredible. So we bought the house and we decided one day to rent the house for these children living in the streets. Argentina, an average person today would earn $300, $200, $400 a month. This is the income. And the expenses are very big, not correspond to what we get. So renting a house was difficult. But we were able to rent a very dilapidated house. That was what we could afford to rent. So we started to work there. I didn't work. I should say we, because I didn't participate in that. To paint the house, to put electrical wires. One day, we asked those children that were going to live there to come and help. One day, there was a lady, the devotee, who was arranging the house for the children. And he asked them to go to the entrance of the house that was in a small garden to remove the earth to put some plants and flowers. After some time, they came back with a bag that contained 20 pounds, 10 kilograms of pure gold. What happens is while they were removing the earth, they found this bag and they ran away. But then they remembered the classes, the age of the classes together, and they felt it was wrong. They came back with the gold. And the judge said that the gold belonged to us. And with that gold, we bought 2 houses. One for abused girls. Very little girls, 1, 2 years old. The judges sent us the girls that were abused at such a tender age. They kept living there, all the kindergarten, primary, and secondary. All the education. The other house was for these homeless children. These homeless children, one of them didn't have a leg. So we bought a leg for him with the remaining money that were left after buying 2 houses. And this boy said, "You gave me a life. I need to know Sai Baba because you gave me a house, you gave me a leg." And we met and we decided that the group was going to India, we could buy a ticket for him to go. We paid a ticket for him. And Swami, the group went to India, Swami gave an interview. In the interview, he told the group that he was the one, without being asked anything, he said, "I was the one who put the gold there." These are the miracles. Another day, one girl from Argentina, in the morning said, "I want to eat something that Swami gives me, that materialized for me." It came to her mind. After the Swami called the Argentinian group for interview. In the interview, he was speaking and suddenly looked at her and said, "Come." And she stood up and he asked her, stretch your arm. She is like that, "Come." Yes, we were. Stretch your arm. Swami did like this, and on her back appeared a ball of polenta. You know what polenta is? A very oily hot ball of polenta. So we started to do a piece, which one in the room. And then another piece, 3 rounds. And that lady went, suddenly she said, she thought, nothing would be left for me, because it was like 20, 30 people there, putting dances, 60 or 90 pieces. And that thought came to her mind, so she looked at the wall, and was stuck as the beginning. This is Swami playing with us. Another day, Swami, there was a lady in the room, and she had a japamala that Swami gave materialized to her. It was those japamalas that had a string of silver string, it was broken. So in the interview, suddenly she said, "Swami, can you repair it?" And Swami stood up and took it. And he had it here, and the other part of the japamala was so long that touched the floor. Swami did something amazing. He did like that, the japamala. And the japamala went in slow motion and reached his finger. You know, if I do this, the envelope of the japamala will touch me, my head, here and there. It was a perfect circle and touched his finger. And when he touched his finger, it was succeed. Gave back to her completely. You understand? I'm sorry that I have many more experiences. Just not to scare you. Four more, okay? Promise, but no promise. With the experience, I got the promise because Swami sends more and I will have to share. One day, I always spoke about Swami in Argentina. I represented these characters, Spider-Man, Bugs Bunny, And I offer the rights to different companies to use these characters in confectionery, in apparel, in backpacks. And one company to whom I offer a lot was Cadbury. The name of the company in Argentina was Stani, because the owner was Stanislavski, then was bought by Cadbury and producing the same things. At that time, it was owned by this gentleman. So, as I met him so many times, he asked me why you're going to India and told him about Swan. We became not friends, but close. And one day, the two daughters of this gentleman were working with him. And one day, one of the daughters called me and said, Leonardo, what is your next trip to India? I told them, I think it was April. And she asked me, can I go with you? Of course you can. The next day, her sister called me. She said, I know that my sister, Ella, is going to be in India with you. Can I go? I said, of course you can join. What happened that night? When Mirta told Alma that she was going to India, Alma decided to go also. But Alma's son was in the room, and suddenly in the room appeared a person. And he said, I was not sleeping, and a person with an afro hair and big robe appeared in my room and started to speak with me. And he told me not to be afraid, and he spoke about my life, and then he disappeared. And he said, Mommy, was not a dream. He's 14 years old. Was not a dream. He appeared and disappeared. And he described Swami. At that time, Swami was not so well known in Argentina. It was at the real beginning of everything. Her sister realized that it was Swami because she knew. That's why she said, and for another reason, she called me to go to India. We left to India. April came, we left to India. I told them that Swami usually does the best beauty for the people or other things. First day, nothing. Second day, nothing. Third day, nothing. The night they came to my room and they said to me, you cheated us. It is not true. It's all the story that you told us. When you make us come here. I said, wait. The next morning, Swami called us for the interview. And I said, great. At least in the room, always he makes the beauty or something for the ladies, or some materialization. First interview in the saga of Panamasa Satesalva, he didn't materialize anything at all. I was there about these Swamis, and this beauty for the days. Nothing. And I thought this night he will come to my room and it will drive me crazy. But suddenly he looked at Mirta, and he had Mirta, so go to Mirta. He looked at Mirta and he told her, you want to have children, right? She said, yes, I will help you. And then he turned to Alma and he said, I will also help you. He put his hand on her head. None of them came in the night to my house, to my room to protest. So I said, something happened. Next morning, Swami gave darshan, stood in front of them, looked at past them, came back, realized a lot, and gave it to Alma, and he said, for your son, for the one to whom he appeared in Peru. And then he materialized the beauty for both of them. And they saw something that we usually don't see. They both told me that they saw little stars of light behind Swami's hand. The last day of their stay, Swami came for darshan, looked at them, they were in the second or third line, the plan, and gave them the plan. And the plan, when you throw some, physically they exist. The plan went straight and 90 degrees to their hands. And he told them, eat it. Till today, they complain that they kept the seed. Why did they go to India? I have no idea about this. Mirta couldn't have children. Of course, she's from a very wealthy family. She made her treatments in the United States, in Argentina. No way to have children. After Swami told her, I will help you, she had 2 children. Alma had a neurological problem. All her life, she has to take pills. And Swami put her hand on her face, no more pills, completely healed. Both of them went to a TV station in Argentina and spoke about the experience with Swami. This Swami makes miracles not only for these people, but to let the people know. I will tell you another experience how Swami makes himself known. One day in Argentina, Swami noticed we made so many public meetings, so many, that if there is a soap opera, one of the characters by portrayed as a devotee. If the script of the author of the soap opera says that one of the members of the family is a spiritual path, he will be a side devotee, and in his room will be Swami's photo. If you take a taxi driver and say, Baba, maybe probably they will say, yeah, I know. They may not know much, but they know. The Swami left his physical body, all the newspapers, all of them have the story of Swami, some two main pages inside the newspaper with the history of Swami. One day, one of the anchors of the most important talk show in Argentina called me and invited me to the program. The program was one of the best TV stations at prime time. That means that billions of people would watch. The program consisted in them letting us speak, and then a panel of people asking questions, like the prosecutor. First, they let you speak, and the prosecutor comes and tries to destroy you. And this is the mechanics of the program. So I went with another lady to the program, and they asked some questions that let us speak. And suddenly they realized that instead of probably us 1 hour for them to question us and we speak, and have 1 hour for the prosecutors, the panel, and they realized that the whole hour went with us speaking about Swami and no attack. And they said, do you mind to come next week? I said, of course, I come. Prime time, the best TV station in Argentina. I was touching the sky. Next morning, and when the program ended, I gave duty to this gentleman, and I explained to him how we can use it to put healing in the seas, not always, but can, it gives you protection, auspiciousness. I told him all what the duty does. And he kept the package. Next morning, that person had the most important radio program in Argentina. The share of that program was on the skies. And I was in my house and I received a phone call and told me, do you mind to have an interview with the anchor one is Fernando Bravo by phone? I said, not of course. Having an interview about Swami, the most important. And he started, Fernando said, I want to introduce Leonardo, who is member of the Sai Baba organization. I want to ask him about this second dash that Sai Baba realized, because they say that the second dash has healing properties. And actually, the lady who was dying yesterday received this ash and was get out of the intense care unit and was fully recovered. And he asked me, can you explain? So I started to speak. And usually they let you speak a couple of minutes, an advertisement. For half an hour, he was talking and talking and talking about Swami. If the time was over, and he said, please stay on the phone. So the day before, the most important video program, 1 hour about Swami. The next morning, radio program. This, Fernando Bravo, got hold of the money. He said, Leonardo, the person who was dying was my aunt. And I went to the place where she was dying and put the in her mouth. And she was recovered. So I had to ask you, what was this? So this is Swami advertising himself. Another time, a flight attendant came many years ago. I also told this story. I told two stories in front of Swami about Cuba. One was that the Prime Minister of India went to Argentina and met with the President of Argentina. And they wanted to speak, and the President of Argentina said, please, what I wanted to know is about Sai Baba. Can you tell me something? And also because the writer of the speeches of the President was Sai Devotee. So he told him, and he knew in Argentina, Sai Baba is very well known. So he only wanted to speak with the Prime Minister about Swami. What happened was that one day this flight attendant came and said, Leonardo, you have a photograph of Swami in flight to Cuba. And I've been there, I had a yoga professor, and I spoke about Swami, I want to give him a photograph. I said, of course. I gave him a photograph of Swami. So the next flight to Cuba, she took the photograph and gave it to him. One of the students of this yoga professor had to go to heart surgery the next day. When he received, or 2 days later, the next day he received the photograph started to materialize beauty. And what he did, he knew everything about the beauty, went to this student that had to go to the heart surgery and that beauty to give him. The next day when the boy was taken to surgery, checked him, and they didn't find the problem. So surgery was not needed, the boy was completely healed. And this was spreading like fire in Cuba. In Cuba, let me tell you something. I went there. Cuba is not a democracy. When I speak with the president, you have to speak in code. If you call him from Argentina, you cannot say about Salvador. You don't tell him, how is the coffee? Nice. The meat is to have coffee and enjoying it. And the secret police, you cannot meet, is forbidden. This person where the center is was taken into jail. Then they released him. But Swami started to spread 108 side centers, groups and centers where are in Cuba. And for example, one day they have to meet for Swami's birthday, they will meet from morning till night. The people will start coming. In Cuba, the people are like, let's say, $8 per month, a physician, an engineer. But if you want to buy a bottle of oil to cook, it might cost you $10. So how can you do it? You have to go to the black market, do something. The devotees to come, they have to walk 15 blocks to take a bus, because they're not regular buses that take you from. You have to perhaps walk 10 or 20 blocks where the bus station is to go to another place. So it's work really austere. But anyway, people meet, they sing bhajans, they Swami spread all over the island in a situation where it's dangerous to meet. But Swami is present all over Cuba. So if this is how Swami, we think we are the doers. We are the instruments, he's the doer. But we must do our part. You know, in this life, everything is like a combination of a positive and negative energy. The positive is, then the negative is our efforts, our salary. The positive is the grace of God. It's like you are in a boat. You have to raise the sails. The wind is blowing. But if you don't raise the sails, the wind will not take you anywhere. Our salary is to raise the wind, the sails. And the grace will push us. So we have to do our part. We have to do our part. That's why he created this organization. That's why he does do this and the world becomes paradise. Because we have to earn our bread with the sweat of our forehead or profit. We'll stop with the last one. Yes, we'll talk about public meetings. I have so many public meetings. One day, we had a public meeting in a city called Rosario, 300 kilometers from Argentina, from Buenos Aires. No side center, no side education, no nothing. Just one day, they came one day and asked me, this was like 40 years ago. He asked me, Leonardo, do you mind to go to Rosario and speak in a public meeting? I said, of course. But who is there? Don't worry. Some days later, she came back and she told me, I arranged everything next week, Wednesday is public. I told her, Wednesday? It's a working day. No one will go. She said, it's the day I was able to get the answer. Okay. That time we have this Super 8 projector. And was not even that the film. We had the script and with the candle, we read the what was happening there, we were reading. You know? It was so amazing. I went there with a Super 8 projector, and it was there. And when I reached, I found that the theater was huge, for 300 people. You know, when no one knows about Swami, I said, the theater is small, 20 people go, we say, okay, if you have a public meeting for 300 people, 20 people go, we say it's a disaster. So I said, what did you do? Wednesday, such a big theater. Anyway, was done. So I went inside, waiting for the people to come. People start coming. And before the public meeting was supposed to start, the theater was completely full. Completely full. And I projected the film, I spoke, and then I asked the audience if they have any questions, and the people raised their hands and asked questions. And then this was the procedure at that time. And one person rose his hand and he said, I don't have a question, but I want to share something. Can I? I said, of course. It's very risky this because some people they like to hear themselves and start with a speech, a 2-hour speech. But anyway, he said, yes, of course. And he said, well, I will tell you, I live in Cordoba, which is other city, 500 kilometers from Rosario. Yesterday I fought with my wife. I had such a discussion, an argument, I was so angry. I left the house, went to the bus station, took the first bus, and I ended in Rosario, this city. I went to a room in a hotel, and I was there, and in the middle of, and then I read in the newspaper something that attracted my attention. There was a public meeting and a film, and what caught my attention was something that said free of charge. He didn't have anything to do, so there was something free of charge, I will go. In the middle of the night, he woke up, he was suffering from an ulcer, and he forgot his medicines. And Harry knows, I had an ulcer before. An ulcer is so painful. You feel, I personally felt like a knife in my back. You know, the pain was, he woke up in the middle of the night in such pain, Rosario, that he couldn't call the concierge, there was no concierge, to ask him to go and buy medicines. He was suffering like crazy in the bed. And suddenly, the person appeared in the room, told him to calm down, put his hand over his stomach without touching him. The pain disappeared, and the person disappeared. And he said, I was not dreaming, I saw him. And I'm telling you this because since then, I have no more pain. But the important thing is that the person that came to my room is the one I have just seen on the film we have project. So this is one. And then to finish the story, this story, I would like to tell you another one. What happened, I asked this lady, how did she manage to get the theater? She said that she promised the owner of the theater to pay later. I said, how are you going to pay? I said, I was going to ask you for the money. But it was more considered, it is a custom to when you give the leaflet, they give you a tip. She was refusing, but then it was awkward, refused to accept it. She got most of the money needed from the tips. So not more money was needed to pay for it. May I share one more story? The last one, I promise. One day I was in Guatemala, and a doctor, a very, very important doctor of that city, shared his story with us. He told us that when he finished his medical studies, he had to do his residence in one hospital that was in very, very, not only poor, but middle of the jungle. He was destined to that hospital to do his residence. So he took a jeep and went to that place. He had to cross to the jungle. And he was going to the jeep and suddenly the jeep stopped. And no way to get it. He was in the afternoon in the middle of the jungle. No way, no one was coming. No car, nothing. He got a friend and he said, I will not stay here all night. So he decided to leave the jeep and walk, thinking that the town closed. No town, no town. It was dark, pitch dark. Suddenly he heard screams, screams. And he saw a group of drunk natives with machetes. They were doing with the machetes like this and screaming, and he said, they will kill me. He got really scared. God help me. As soon as he said that, the jeep came. Not these hours, nothing. Suddenly a jeep came, stopped and he told him, get up, get in. And he took him, said, you are going to this town? Yes. He took him to one town, but without him telling where he had to stop, he stopped at the house where he had to go. And when he got off the jeep, he wanted to give a tip to that person. And the driver didn't want to accept it. And he said, at least tell me your name. And the driver said, I'm your midnight friend. Years later, he became a celebrity, but before he became a celebrity, he found this way he became a celebrity in the bookstore of the book, and the cover of the book was a photograph of the person who was the driver of the jeep. So, dear brothers and sisters, I'm really happy to be here. Yes.
For the job model. I thought maybe it is my mind, but it is persistent up to this point. I resisted asking this at that point in time. This retreat that we are doing is emphasized again and again on being God. Swami says, you and I are one. And Swami's actions, whatever he does, have significance. So we may consider it insignificant, but in Swami's world, everything has it. So when you were talking about Japmala being given to Swami for a year, and after the speech that he gave, and in the Japmala, and the Japmala came back again, the message that I got is, when I am one, and I'm good and ready to do it to my phone, I will just put it back. And that's what I meant.
Very nice. Well, I'm going to tell you again that I'm really so happy and grateful for your invitation to be here to Swami for this opportunity to share with you my experiences and the teachings he gave me. And I hope that you will all try tonight in divine contact with Swami. I'm really feeling that he's present here now, speaking this hall with so much love. And we hope that you will have a very nice day with him. Thank you. I wish I had. May I tell you another story? It's his fault, not mine. Sorry. No, he said he thought when I was talking that if I ever write a book, he would write it. And actually, what happened was it's very funny because I gave many talks in the science center for 1 or 2 years every week. And one side devotee recorded my talks. And one time I was going to India, he gave me a bunch of papers like this and he told me, these are your talks, I transcribed them. I want to publish it in a book. Can you show it to Swami for his blessings? I said, yes, of course. When I went to the plane, I started reading and was reading off Because when you speak, you say, in the, because, it's not a book, editing a lot of things. But it took so much work. So I went to Darshan, the base, and then Swami was there, and he was with this in my hand. And so he called me and he said, I showed it to him. He went to the pages, and I asked him, can I publish it? He asked me, what is spirituality? And caught me by surprise. So much that I said, from inside. And he said, no. Gave me a slap on my face and said, not necessary. Gave me back the pages. So, first of all, spirituality, what is spirituality? It's very simple. It's to get rid of bad qualities, not to go inside anywhere. But I failed in the right answer. But when he said it's not necessary, I took the papers to where my talks, and my ego was deflated, to say the least. Some days later, it was Swami's birthday. I don't know how, I ended pushing the Sula. When Swami was in the Sula, and he pushed the Sula. When Swami finished all the songs, he sat in the front of the stupa to see the fireworks. And I sat in a chair as I was going to push the Sula. I was following him, I was following Swami. I sat in a chair behind him. And then when all this finished, I said, this is heaven. They hear him the fireworks Swami in front of me. He went to his house and I followed him. I always follow something. I was with Sinclair and with Goldstein. Oh my God, I forgot one story with when I was with them. And Swami, before going to his room, he gave us a namaskar inside the room. So we took a namaskar, and I don't know why. I said, Swami, what? Can I write a book? I said, yes, but a good one. So we have to write it. Actually, I have a very but I have to edit it. So you would not need to type it. As this other story came to my current channel, I tell you tomorrow. Remind me tomorrow to sing and dance. Okay? Don't forget. Silent. Thank you.